So I'm wondering if, if there's anybody else who feels the same that I do for breakfast. Because, like, I don't know, something about waking up in the morning and having breakfast. It's just something about that routine, making coffee, having a plate of eggs or peanut butter and jelly sandwich. Just just those two alone, waking up in the morning, it's like, I don't know, I just don't get tired of it. And no other meal during my day kind of like hits the same way. Like lunch or dinner, it's like I feel like if I could, I would just look forward to having breakfast every day and I could skip out on virtually everything else. Like drinking coffee and having a plate of eggs in the morning, it like gives me this energy and this level of inspiration that just makes me feel like I can just tackle my day. You know, I can just do anything, right? And if I miss out on that, it's like the start of my day just goes wrong. I don't know, that's just me. I feel like if depending on who you are, you can be so psychologically dependent on things like food to kind of like operate in terms of not necessarily from like an energy or calorie standpoint. I just mean like psychologically, like where, you know, could I operate without coffee in breakfast? Probably. Probably, but I just think it just makes it better. It's like, especially when I wake up in the morning and I'm just daydreaming about like making a cup of coffee and getting those nice plate of eggs. It makes the day feel a whole lot better, honestly. It really does. I've even tried to like do like try intermittent fasting, um where maybe like I'll just have like breakfast in the morning and then not eat anything else, but that's actually very hard because it's like I would say like the feeling that I get when I like eating breakfast compared to say having lunch or dinner, it's almost like there is that need to get that energy for me to start my day, but at the same time it's like I enjoy it like I would enjoy video games. But like lunch or dinner, it's like at that point where like I know I'm hungry and I need to eat or else I'm gonna get like headaches. But it does not feel like the same in terms of that level of enjoyment that I have for it. And I've always tried to find ways that I could like preserve that element of eating in that window where I do enjoy it. But it's complicated. Especially for a dude like me, like I need to have a certain level of food for the day, otherwise my body can't really operate. I can't really do the things that I need to do. I'm very prone to getting headaches. I'm very prone to like getting dehydrated if I don't eat, especially like I don't know, it's really strange. Like I've gotten migraines and stuff. Um, I've even like you try to drink water, but you still get this really bad like headache. It is what it is. So just something I've come to like embrace. But if I could, I would just narrow down my eating windows to just having the breakfast that I like so much. That's just me. That's just my preference, honestly. But yeah, I think that when you can know how to master those kinds of feelings and control them, you can kind of have a better idea about you know, how you can, I guess, manipulate yourself into eating less, or perhaps, you can kind of use it to your advantage. I don't think I've quite managed to do it yet, but I would like to. I would like to. Because I feel like long term, going into the future as I get older, I don't think, the amount that I eat now is going to be something I'll be able to sustain in the future. And my mentality for the last, I would say, 3 years has been like, try to accommodate or try to assimilate into that, kind of sustenance from earlier on so I can get used to it rather than having to adjust at the last minute and not being able to kind of cope with those kinds of changes. But it's hard. Like, it's not something that it's almost like mentally you want to, but naturally you can't. And I often feel like it's just going to be until the time that it comes that I can literally physically no longer sustain eating, say, larger portions during the day, then it's going to have to just get to that point. But yeah, I mean, I've made some pretty decent changes here and there. I'm pretty obsessive about food myself because I used to be like pretty fat in my when I was in high school, and I had a hard time with junk food, controlling myself, and I had really bad eating habits, and I kind of like transformed that after high school. And so my brain, when it comes to how it thinks about food, it's very, I would say, like, it's at a much deeper level than like most people, probably. Like, I know most people, they'll just, make a bite to eat, just call that a day. For me, like, food, it kind of goes deeper than that. It's like I add layers of complication to food because it's just something I had to do in order to understand how to discipline my brain to control my cravings and things like that. So while I'm not really paying for the results of doing all of that, it just means that I don't really consume food. When I'm consuming food, my mental process behind eating it is not necessarily like most people. Some people will go to a restaurant, have a burger, chill out, relax. For me, I'm looking at that burger and I'm like, okay, what is this burger? This burger's got beef, it's got bread. So when I go home later, I probably won't have this. And I know that sounds like a very conscious thing, but it doesn't help make food really feel enjoyable. I think when you're thinking so hard about what to eat, a lot about what you're eating, you know, you can't really enjoy food because your main goal is like, okay, well, what can I do to control this? Or there's good and bad to it. And I think that's part of the reason why like lunch and dinner doesn't really give me that same feeling like breakfast. Because I think, breakfast, you can sit down and have your first meal of the day can be anything, and you can have a good start if you start with good portions. But going into lunch and dinner, it becomes difficult because if you don't have self-control, you might end up like, you know, stuffing your plate with all kinds of shit that you don't actually need. Just because you think you're hungry, you're gonna eat it. If you're like me, you will eat it. Like question about there is no question about what you can or cannot eat. With me, at least, it's like I will just consume. My stomach's like a black hole. I know some people, they physically cannot eat a lot of food just because of how they are. I'm not like that. Like, I can eat a crap ton. I mean, when I was like a kid, I remember with like Thanksgiving dinners, I would probably eat um somewhere like 3 or 4 plates of Thanksgiving dinner. Yeah, like I just, it's not that I couldn't control myself, it's just that that was just what I could do. And yeah, and that's part of it too, you know, that's part of it too. I was raised to be proud of my ability to eat so much, but at the same time, you know, I wasn't really motivated a lot as a kid to try and exercise and stuff, and I kind of had to find that motivation on my own later on, and that helped me a lot. So I do wish that like most days I could try to think less and live more. I wish that my brain wasn't so caught up with nitty-gritty details about things in life that are just there. You know what I'm saying? Like that are like an afterthought for most people. For me, it's way more than that, unfortunately. It's not quite an afterthought. Yeah, that's my Yap Fest for today. So hope you hope you can relate a little bit with some of what I've spoken about here, and you know, remember to stay safe and stay healthy. Meditate. Deep breathing, guys.